So we're talking about the Constitutional Council. We have looked at the competence of the Constitutional Council, and I said that they give final rulings on matters pertaining to the Constitution and on the constitutionality of laws. And I said that there is a difference that exists between a constitutional court and a constitutional council, and in the case of Cameroon, what we have is a constitutional council. The difference is clear. So now, I've also spoken on the composition of the CC, the composition of the Constitutional Council, meaning that the number of people that make up the Constitutional Council, meaning that the members of the CC and how they gain their office. I said 3 are appointed by the President of the Republic, 3 by the Senate, 3 by the National Assembly, and 2 by the Higher Judicial Council, making a total of 11 members. Also, presidents and ex-presidents are life members of the Constitutional Council, meaning that they are members for life. The Constitutional Council also has rulings over, they also make final rulings over standing orders. And then, the Constitutional Council are the ones that give the results of national elections. When we talk of national election, we are referring to 4 elections in Cameroon. We are referring to the presidential election, senatorial election, parliamentary election, and referendum operation. So those are the 4 elections that take place that we call national elections in Cameroon. There are the national elections in Cameroon. And then when it comes to national election, the Constitutional Council are responsible for also handling the electoral disputes, meaning that disputes that arise from election. We call them national election electoral dispute. So the competence or the court with jurisdiction is the Constitutional Council. That explains why in 2018, after the result of the presidential election, the national president of MRC, Professor Istanbul, came before the Constitutional Council, and he was given 3 days to give reasons why he thinks he was the rightful winner of the presidential election 2018. Why? Because it's the president, is the Constitutional Council that have the jurisdiction to hear matters about the constitutionality of laws plus electoral disputes. Also, the Constitutional Council, they are responsible for the protection of individual rights and freedoms. So your rights are protected by the Constitutional Council. Now we are going to look at those who can access the Constitutional Council. That means those who can seize the Constitutional Council for any matter. So when there is any matter, it is not everybody that can have access to the Constitutional Council. It is not like the High Court, the Court of First Instance, or the Administrative Court, where anybody has access to, so long as you have been injured, you have access to the court. But in the case of the Constitutional Council, not everybody in Cameroon have access to the Constitutional Council. So who can refer matters to the Constitutional Council? Number 1, the President of the Republic. The President of the Republic is the number 1 authority that can refer matters to the Constitutional Council. Apart from him, we have the President of the Senate, or 1/3 members of the Senate. We also have the Speaker of the National Assembly or 1/3 the members of the National Assembly who can seize the Constitutional Council for any matter. Then we have the President of the Regional Council when the interest of the region is at stake. The President of the Regional Council is competent to seize the Constitutional Council. Then, for electoral disputes, political parties or leaders of political parties, they have the competence to also seize the Constitutional Council, especially for matters of electoral disputes. So, what does that mean? It means you as a Cameroonian, as an individual, you cannot seize the Constitutional Council even when your right is at stake. So, on the contrary, you see that it is instead those people that they will violate your right. They are the same people that have access to the Constitutional Council. So, the Constitutional Council, which protect your rights, you don't even have access to that council. But however, your elected representatives, like the President of the Republic and the members of Parliament, and even political parties who are also playing a representative function, they have access to the Constitutional Council. Even the President of the Regional Council Executive also has. You have a question? Yes. Pardon? No. The day this topic was supposed to be taught, Mr. Conky was online to teach, and students were not ready to learn. So the professor came and he came and sat for 2 hours. All the 2 hours exhausted, and nobody was there for class. So when I heard about it, I was very angry. And I said, we are not going to do the topic again. I simply said that in the whole, you have any question concerning constitutionality, you do your best. So we just wanted to consider the lesson taught already. That's why there are no lectures on it. Is it going? It's difficult. It's difficult. But I'm trying to make it easy. What I've said here is those who can seize the Constitutional Council. Yes. So not everybody can come before the Constitutional Council. Like you and I, we cannot go before the system. But the people that can seize the Constitutional Council, you must know. You have the President of the Republic, you have the President of the Senate, or 1/3 the member of the Senate, you have the Speaker of the National Assembly, or 1/3 the members. We have the President of the Regional Council. Then we have political party leaders or chairmen of political parties. So, for example, if you want to come for electoral disputes, then you must be a leader of a political party who took part in that election. You are now coming for electoral disputes. Maybe because of pre-election, electoral fraud, and so on. That one is okay, right? Talking about the competence of the Constitutional Council, we are looking at what the kind of matters that can be brought before the Constitutional Council. What are those matters? Number one, constitutionality of laws. The President of the Republic, before promulgating a bill into law, may refer that matter to the Constitutional Council to test the constitutionality of that law. So here now, you see the very first, the most important power of the Constitutional Council is to test the constitutionality of laws, to make sure that the laws that are being promulgated are constitutional. Meaning that the Constitutional Council, they will look at that law, that bill, and then if that bill violates the Constitution or certain a particular section in the Constitution, then the Constitutional Council are going to cancel that bill or cancel part of the bill that violates the constitution, and then the president will promulgate the rest. That's just it. Also, the Constitutional Council, they also have jurisdiction over standing orders from the Senate. They have jurisdiction for electoral disputes. Disputes that arise as a result of a national election. So we have national election electoral disputes that are handled by the Constitutional Council. I hope you understand when I talk of those who can seize the Constitutional Council. It's okay now? Yes. We have the President of the Republic, President of the Senate or one-third of the members, National Assembly or one-third of the members, then President of the Regional Council, and also the we rather have the chairman or leaders of political parties. Yes. And the president of a regional council can only come before the Constitutional Council when the interest of their region is at stake. Okay. That is, those are the people that have access to the Constitutional Council. And then talking about the jurisdiction, again, the Constitutional Council, they protect individual rights and freedom. So if there is anything, if there is any law that they want to test whether this law is going to violate people's rights or not, before promulgating that bill into law, it's the Constitutional Council that are going to test the constitutionality of that law. Talking about the composition of the Constitutional Council, you are okay, right? There are 11 members, and this is how they take their office. Then all presidents plus ex-presidents are members of the Constitutional Council for life. Okay. The Constitutional Council, they are responsible for regulating the functioning of institutions. But the Constitutional Council is not the highest institution within the judiciary. The highest institution within the judiciary is the higher judicial council. Yes. Okay. What are the limitations? What are the challenges that the Constitutional Council or the citizens will face? Even with the coming of the Constitutional Council, what are the challenges that the citizens will face vis-a-vis their inherent rights as citizens of Cameroon, and also their rights? Yes. What challenges are citizens going to face, depending on, like, looking at the way the Constitutional Council is organized, and the matters that can be brought before the Constitutional Council, and those who can access the Constitutional Council. Pardon? Yes, that's what I'm asking.
They will not have freedom of expression.
Yes.
The laws they put together, they are not really known or accepted. The parliament just choose the laws, then they enact it and comes into promulgation.
Okay. What you need to know is that the first challenge is, yes, the Constitutional Council is protect your rights. But now, if I say I am the one who has to make sure that all of you eat in the house. But now, you cannot talk to me directly. What are we trying to say? The day you have no food, you will stay hungry. Because the person wants to make sure that you are eating, you cannot come and talk to the person. So as a result, maybe it's instead the person who is not giving you food that can come and talk to the person. So that is the challenge. The Constitutional Council, the citizens, they don't have access to the Constitutional Council. Now let's look at the mandates. The mandate, or look at the composition, and we said there are 11 members in the Constitutional Council. Now, how many years? The mandate refers to the length, the period of time, or the number of years that an elected authority, an elected official is expected to be in power. So, it is during this mandate that authority is going to exercise that power and all the prerogatives and privileges that position comes with. After that mandate, there will be re-election. But when you appoint someone, there's no mandate. Appointment can be terminated at any time. But election, when someone gets an office by election, the person will have a mandate. For example, in the US, the president serves 4 years term of office. In Cameroon, 7 years renewable. In Cameroon, Parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, 5 years renewable. The municipal election, mayors, 5 years renewable. President of the council, 5 years renewable. Now, what about the Constitutional Council? How many years? How many years? And is it renewable or not? The Constitutional Council, members of the Constitutional Council, they serve a 6 years term of office. And their mandate is renewable. So the Constitutional Council is made up of 11 members elected for a 6 years term of office, which is eventually renewable. What's the meaning? It means that after 6 years, they may still remain in office. They may still be designated. But now, membership at the Constitutional Council in Cameroon is not through election, but appointment. They are not being elected, but they are designated. According to the Constitution, the phrase that is used is designation. They are being designated. So the President of the Republic will designate 3 people. The Senate President, 3. 3, National Assembly, 3, the higher Judicial Council. So now, within the 11 members of the Constitutional Council, one of them became the President of the Constitutional Council. So now, among the 3 people that are designated by the President of the Republic, one of them will become the President of the Constitutional Council. So it means that the President of the Constitutional Council is never designated by any other person apart from the President of the Republic. The President of the National Assembly and the Bureau of the National Assembly, they produce 3 people for the Constitutional Council. The President of the Senate and the Bureau of the Senate also produce 3 people, and the higher Judicial Council will designate 2 people. And then, like I said, beside the 11 members, all presidents and ex-presidents, they are members of the Constitutional Council for life. Now, after the designation, and when the 11 members have been designated to the Constitutional Council, they will have to take an oath of office before the Parliament. And the wordings of the oath is being laid down by the parliament. And then they are going to take an oath of office before the parliament in a meeting in Congress. So far, I think we have. Pardon? Yes, is the note that they were supposed to send to the student that day that they were not there. The note is there. The constitutionality of laws. Okay, so that's it. That's it about the constitutional council. I'm going to send the notes. Yes, and then if you want, I'll send the notes. You will go through the notes, and then if you have any more questions about the CC, you can access. Since there's not audio or video lecture on the Constitutional Council on the platform so far for now, you can read the Constitution to know more. Now with this that has been said, it is easy for you to, but what I've said is, in fact, I've said everything about the Constitutional Council. Exactly. So, to an extent, okay, now the question on who is the guardian of the Cameroon Constitution or who is the custodian of the Cameroon Constitution is a past question. Now, many people say it's the Constitutional Council. Other people, they say it is the judiciary. Others will say it's the parliament. But the question is, who is the guardian? When they say guardian, it means the keeper. Who is the keeper of the Cameroon Constitution? Who is the custodian? Who is the guardian? Who is the keeper of the Cameroon Constitution? The guardian of the Constitution is that person that in any situation will remind the people that our Constitution says this. According to Article 31 of our Constitution, according to Article 28 of our Constitution, so that is the person that is the custodian of the Cameroon Constitution. The person that does not only keep, but it like interprets the Constitution, does not only interpret, but will apply them. Also, the guardian of the Constitution is that person or is that institution that we must refer matters to in order to know if we are working in accordance with the Constitution or not. In DMG, Division de Magistration et de Greffe, that is division, the Court Registry and Magistracy Division. In a year, the question that came is the judiciary as the guardian of the Constitution. So then they were supposed to look at how the judiciary acts as the guardian of the Constitution. And now the question is how? Number one, the duty of the judiciary is to do what? Interpret the law, pass judgment in accordance with the law. This means that when the magistrate hears a matter, he has to answer from the Constitution, answer from the law, the rules and regulations in force. So we can say he is a keeper of the law. It's okay. All right. Let's keep that one there. the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council is also a keeper of the Constitution. That is why you see the Constitution will say that the President of the Republic, before promulgating a view into law, may refer the matter to the Constitutional Council to test the constitutionality. Meaning that they are the keeper of the Constitution, and then when the President is wanting to be sure that this law is constitutional, he will refer the matter to them. In our small villages, we have the custodian of our tradition. You always have someone or some people that are there to keep the tradition. When you want to go contrary to the tradition, they will say it's an abomination. It's the same with the Constitutional Council. Can we say that the legislative are the custodian or the guardian of the Constitution? Can we say that the legislative, I mean the parliament, are a keeper of the Constitution? The big answer is no. They simply make the law and control the government. So, looking at the custodian of the Constitution, we will talk more of the Constitutional Council and the judiciary. President of the Republic is not a custodian, is not a keeper of the Constitution. What the President does when he consents law is to do what? Promulgate a view into law. He may also make law by way of ordinances according to Article 26 of the Constitution. He can also pass decrees. And according to the Constitution, bills shall be passed by simple majority of members of Parliament. So, the President of the Republic cannot be the custodian of the Constitution. The ministers or prime minister are not the guardian of the Constitution, but the Constitutional Council and the judiciary. They are the custodian